Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be sharing with you guys my November financial reset. I'll be going over with you what I spent in the month of October and what's going to be happening with my budget in November. October has been different and you'll see that reflected in my budget, and it feels like every single month I'm trying like something new financially, and you'll see that as well in this video. But if you're new here, hello, my name is Yvonne. I'm currently living in South Korea with my partner and 2 cats. We live in a very small studio apartment. I have been in South Korea for around 6 years now. I love sharing my personal finance journey and my investment journey as well. So if you're really interested in that, feel free to subscribe to my channel. It's free. As I'm filming this, it is a Saturday at noontime. Got my coffee. I'm ready to go get started. So what happened in October? We had a week-long holiday, so we were actually outside the country. We traveled to Bangkok and it was such an amazing experience. And so a lot of our expenses for that 1 week actually was in our vacation fund, which we completely used. What we did was that I paid for our flights and hotels and my partner paid for the rest of the expenses. I only saved up for spending money because my portion of the trip was done. Also, my partner is currently on a business trip to China, so he's gone for a week, so a lot of our expenses are going to be a little bit more lower than normal, just because not only have we been out of the country, but also I just had to feed myself, which does save a lot of money in terms of dining out and groceries. Now, because a lot of the currency that I'm dealing with right now is in South Korean won, I will be converting it to American dollars for ease of understanding. For the month of October, I brought in an income of 2,137,508 Korean won. So this is including any deductions that I've had, any types of overspending that I had in September. That is the money that I'm currently working with. And yes, spoiler alert, I did overspend, and I'll go over like exactly what I overspent on. We're gonna start off with expenses, then work our way towards bills, and then saving. For family expenses, I always put in 1,000,000 Korean won. My partner does the same thing, and then we'll just add it to our joint account. That is where our utilities, grocery monies, basically shared family expenses goes in, and I will actually do a deep dive as to what we spent as a family for this month. I also have 75,000 Korean won for education. That one was fine because I actually get an invoice at the beginning of every month, so I know exactly how much I have to spend, but also this never really goes over budget. For spending, I originally budgeted for 300,000 Korean won. I actually went over. So I spent 446,933,000 Korean won, and this is because I went to Bangkok and I didn't realize there were a lot of American stores, things that we don't have in South Korea. And normally when I go to these stores, I would have to restock on some items because we don't have those things available. And so I just decided to restock on the essentials. That's where a lot of the overspending came from, but I am happy with my purchases just because that means that coming the next year, I don't have to buy as many things when I do go back to Canada. Transportation, I budgeted 40,000 Korean won for this. I do expect this amount to be lower than what I have budgeted just because we were out of the country for a week. I have been staying home a lot more this month. I don't actually get my bill until the very end of the month. And what happens here is that we'll use our credit card to tap on the buses here. That amount is taken out at the very end of the month. Credit card fees, I budgeted 23,904 Korean won for this. I have a lot of credit cards and they all have different credit card fees that comes out at different times of the year. And rather than having a surprise expense at a random time, which I'm not prepared for, I just have a sticking fund for that. Needs spending is a category where I have to spend money on things that is related to my personal self, but is not related to things that I want. It's hard to explain. So this could be office supplies that I need for work, or it could be feminine hygiene products, things like that. And I have budgeted 30,000 for that one. I actually only spent 5,200. Moving on to bills. So this includes things that are variable and fixed. And the first thing we have is lunch. I always put in 100,000 Korean won for lunch, and I do get lunch provided at school, but I do have to pay for it. I have only spent 74,800 on this. This is really great because the previous month I actually was over budget for this because they put 2 months worth of lunches on one bill for me. So being under budget for lunch for this month is really great. My phone bill doesn't change at all, so it's currently at 18,900. Very different from what I've been paying in Canada. iCloud also doesn't change at 11,100. I have been contemplating whether or not I needed this service, but apparently if you have multiple Apple devices, this is a really useful service to have, especially when you want to sync things and use iCloud Drive. And so I've decided to keep it. As a teacher, I also am subscribed to 2 terabytes of Google Drive storage space, and I'm not happy with the fact that I am paying for so much for storage in both the Apple and the Google ecosystem. But as a teacher and as somebody who creates content, I simply do need these services. Netflix, 13,500, YouTube, 29,800. For some reason in Korea, I'm not able to create a family account. So this is both for my account and for my partner. It's supposed to be 14,900 per person. It would have been great if we were able to bundle that up into a family plan, but that's just not available here. Bank notifications, it is at 1,400. And what this is anytime I use my credit card or my debit card, I get a notification that money has been taken out. And this is really great, especially when it comes to budgeting and just making sure that I'm able to keep track of all my transactions and expenses. Moving on to savings, this includes my savings account and my sinking funds. We're gonna start off with Hana, and 150,000 Korean won gets automatically taken out of my account. This is basically just a housing account to help you save for a home here in Korea. Investments and vacation is currently at 0, especially when it comes to vacation. I need to replenish this really soon just because we are planning another trip next year, but I'll be talking about that and how I'm planning to save for all of that in my next video. For medical, it is 50,000 Korean won, and I am not able to apply for private health insurance just yet. I have to wait for like another month. But this is the money that I use to pay off for my contact lenses, random medical appointments that I have, trips to the pharmacy, and I've been using that as a sinking fund. It's working really great for me, but I'm just hoping to finally apply for that really nice private health insurance. Gym membership is also a sinking fund that I'm working towards because I have to pay for my gym membership in December for the entire year. It's usually around 600, maybe 700,000 Korean won. And I've been working towards saving 175,000 Korean won per month into this. I will be a little bit short, and I did ask my partner if he can help cover the difference, and he's been ever so kind to agree. Christmas is at 50,000 Korean won. I did buy my partner a really expensive gift. I got him an Apple Watch for his birthday. He just said that I can just skip Christmas and just make that part of his Christmas present as well. But because Christmas is one of my most favorite holidays, I can't just leave this at 0. In case I want to do something extra for him, I did put in some money for that. Birthday is at 0, and then hobbies is at 60,000 Korean won. Now I am saving up for more Pilates classes. I'm starting to have like posture issues. I used to dance, and that has been really great for my mind, my body, and my soul. But the thing is, because I stopped dancing due to an injury, I have started to develop posture issues, definitely lost a lot of muscle tone, and I need to use Pilates as a way to help me rehabilitate my body. It's not cheap. I think I need to save around 1,500,000 Korean won for the class package that I want to get for the entire year. The total money that I have saved up for my savings account is 485,000 Korean won. My total expenses is 2,187,937,000 Korean won. This is more than I brought in income wise, so that meant that I overspent 47,429 Korean won. Alright, let's dive into family expenses. I don't think I've done a deep dive as to what I spend in my family expenses account before on this channel, so this will be exciting. Now, I do use YNAB to keep track of all of my bills and transactions, so I'll be looking down my phone, but I will be changing this up when my subscription ends in December because I'm not paying $130 Canadian for an app that doesn't even connect to my bank accounts here in Korea. Now, there are 2 categories for my family expenses. We have family and then we have pets. For family, we have household supplies, and this is things for like cleaning supplies, soap, shampoos. And because I have been slowly updating our house, taking out the old and bringing in the new, I have overspent on this category. For a budget of 30,700, I spent 65,610. For my utilities, this is more like a sinking fund because our bills in the winter and the summer tend to be triple the amount of the average price that we have to pay, and that is because we're using a lot of gas for the heat and electricity for the air conditioning. I have 222,000 385 Korean won in this account just for utilities. For October, I spent 105,430. Groceries is also considered a sinking fund for us. We have 402,460 in this account. Like I said before, because things are a little bit different this month, we have spent a lot less on groceries. We have spent 128,160. For dining out, this has always been a major sore spot for me because every single month it seems like I am constantly moving the goalposts. Either I have over budgeted or I haven't budgeted enough, and recently we've been basically going over budget for dining out. Despite the fact that October was a very different month for us, we were pretty much quite close to almost spending this entire budget, if not more. For the month of October, we have spent 128,160 and we only have 22,900 left. So we have like one more week of October to go through. So let's see if we can stay under budget for this. Joint activities, this is things for date night, and that is currently at 80,000 Korean won. We haven't used this yet, but we will be using this to visit a friend in Busan next month, so I can imagine this to be a little bit over budget. Coming into next month's budget, I think I do need to put a little bit more money into this. Next, we have house savings and emergency funds. We are actively trying to save for a down payment for a house. Where that will be, either in Korea or a different country, we still don't know, but the main thing is we start saving as early as we can. My salary, or the money that I put in for the joint account, is used for our expenses like groceries, utilities, things like that. My partner's portion of his money I put into our house savings and emergency fund, and this has been really easy for me to manage. I was trying to do other crazy systems, but I find like I have found my sweet spot. So 500 goes into emergency savings, 500 goes into house savings. Now let's talk about our pets. There are three categories for our pets. We have pet supplies, pet food, and pet medicine. So pet supplies will be things like their litter, maybe their toys, anything pet related. We have budgeted 88,040 Korean won, and why is that a crazy number? It's just because the money from the previous month that was left unused just got carried over. For pet supplies, we spent 24,670. Pet food, pretty self-explanatory. I budgeted 50,000 Korean won for this, but I actually went over budget because I think I just miscalculated. I don't buy my cat kibbles every single month. I buy every other month, and so because I skipped a month mentally, I didn't account for this month's expenses. So anyways, I spent 114,100 out of the 50,000 Korean won budget that I had for pet food. Now we can finally dive into November's budget. Now, taking into account October's overspending, I'm bringing in 2,251,391 Korean won for November's budget. Diving into savings, we start out with Hana. That is 150 automatically dropped my account. Investments is at 50, and then vacation is 150. Now, vacation is going to be a sticking fund, but this is actually lower than what I need to save per month. I calculated it. I need to save 450 per month, and that is because my flight tickets to Canada during high season through Korean Air is $2,500 Canadian. And because it's so expensive, I need to start saving early. I'll try to tweak my budget for December and moving forward so that I can afford this trip, but this is what we have so far for this month. Medical 50, gym membership 175. By this time, I should have saved close to 500,000 Korean won for my gym membership. Again, I told you that my gym membership might cost 700. Christmas 50, birthday 0, and hobbies for my Pilates classes is 45,000. So the total amount of money that I'm hoping to save for this month is 670,000 Korean won. For my bills, a lot of these are pretty much the same. They're not going to change, so I'm not going to dive too deep into that. But for my expenses, this includes my need spending and my want spending. Things are a little bit different. Family expenses still at 1 million. Education, I might be stopping my vocal lessons, so I'm going to be talking to the teacher. Maybe I'll just do 2 more classes in November, so I budgeted 50,000 for that. Spending is a really weird number. Originally, it was supposed to be 250, but because after I budgeted everything else, there was some leftover money. So I just decided to put that money into my wants category, so it is currently at 254,897. Transportation, credit card annual fees, and bank notifications pretty much stay the same. With all that being said, I have budgeted all the money that I was able to for the month of November. Hopefully, I am better this month at not overspending. I do plan to have a no spend week, for myself, especially when my partner is going to go on another business trip. So that gives me the opportunity to just stay home and chill and just to really do some self-care for myself. So we'll see how that goes. But thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.